All right. Well, I have finished another franchise. I finished all of the Predator movies. Now, I guess I can't say technically all of them, but I have finished all of the theatrical released movies. There's that one that's sort of in an animation style on Hulu. I've not seen that one. I think it's called Killer of Killers. I think this was called, but I've not seen that one. I just don't really get around to streaming original movies all that much. But of all of the theatrically released Predator movies, I have seen. So, I just sort of wanted to review the franchise because I have found this franchise very entertaining. There were times watching them all where I thought maybe this is going downhill or maybe I'm not really going to be too into it. But the newer two movies really sold me on the longevity of this franchise. I think that Prey and Badlands were very well made movies. I thought it was entertaining. There's a neat story to it, a lot of action, especially Badlands. And then Prey had so much as well. So, just kind of want to start with the first one. I have the 4K four movie collection. So these were the first four. This was, I believe, this that was made before Prey had even come out. So at the time, this was the complete collection. So this one actually has, get it out. It's got sort of this clunky box set, which I don't like sometimes, just because on the inside the thing that holds the discs, it can get damaged kind of easily. These can get damaged kind of easily. I've noticed this in some of the Harry Potter sets. Some other just franchise collections that have these kinds of clunky boxes just get damaged easily. I've been lucky that I haven't really had too many that has happened, but I have had some sets where that is in fact the case. And so now we got these here. This is sort of for each of the movies. This came in the set, so this is from the first one, obviously. That we got here. Let me kind of angle it better. Poster from the first one. Then we got the poster from Predator 2. And then we got this one from Predators. And then we have the Predator. So this one is by far my least favorite of the six movies I've seen so far. If I had to rank the original ones, I would probably say the first one is obviously my favorite, and then the second, and then it'd be the third, and then the fourth. But that was before these newer ones. So this is the set I have for those four. I really love pretty much everything about the first one. The first one's a classic. There's a reason so many people still talk about Predator. The first one is usually the go-to for people who rewatch a movie from this franchise. The second, I think, was pretty good for a sequel. It had a different kind of tone to it, but still was more familiar to the first one than I think some of the other ones. The third, I mostly liked. It was hard to follow at times just because it felt like it focused so much on the individual character stories and less of the world of these Predator characters. So the third, it was a little rocky, but I did ultimately end up enjoying it. The fourth one, I really, really, really struggled. I wanted to really enjoy each movie in this franchise. I tried to find something to really like about the fourth, and it just sits as my least favorite. But as I moved on from these four, and finally got my hands on a copy of Prey, which took a while to find one for a decent price, especially in 4K. I really incredibly enjoyed this movie. This one, I think, is the next best over after the first one. I think if I had to rank them now, it would be the first and then this one. So you kind of got some of those images from Prey. I just really like this one a lot. This one kind of is so different from the others, but I would say it's different in the best way. As far as the villain in this movie, the main predator going after our characters, it feels more like the first one. This sort of shadowy background figure that shows up occasionally, but then when he does, he just causes absolute carnage. And so in the second is more about hunting predator. The third was more about survival with a large group of characters. And the fourth one was just, I don't know how to describe the fourth one. But anyway, Prey was incredible. I love the characters. I think the whole trying to be a part of clan a part of the tribe, which is funny because that's kind of the same story in Badlands, just with the opposite side of characters. So I really like the whole coming into her own story for our main character here, and the action was pretty good as well. I think Predator used so many gadgets in this one. I can't tell if he used them more in Prey than in any of the others, but it sure felt like it because there were so many gadgets and tricks Predator was using. It just made it entertaining. Just it gave you some characters and some stories, but they also killed so many characters. So it felt that there were real stakes to it, and the action was so constant that it kept feeling exciting. It never really lost that intensity. It kind of maintained that throughout pretty much the entire film, which I really loved. And then I have this copy for Predator Badlands. I don't know, you guys can really tell, but it's got almost that felt kind of. I don't know what the material is called, but I really like this copy. I didn't really want to go after the steelbook when I bought this because I hadn't seen it yet. I didn't know if I wanted to spend the money on the steelbook. Now I kind of do want it, but since I already have this and the steelbook is a little pricey, I'm probably just going to stick with this one. But this movie I thought was really interesting. It kind of blends everything you want from a kind of sci-fi film, where you have someone just hunting one monster after the other as they keep getting more dangerous and bigger. It just kind of feels like everything you want from a monster movie. I mean, I got more from this than the Godzilla movies. It kind of feels like if you had like a bounty hunter from Star Wars going to Jurassic Park, trying to find the biggest dinosaur. That's kind of a very generic way I can put this. He goes to this planet to try to go after the biggest, baddest creature on the planet so he can have the biggest trophy, because his clan believes he is the weakest, and his brother was just killed for trying to protect him by his own father because his father sees him as so weak. So our main Predator character here, he's trying to prove himself, and he's trying to get that big kill, that big trophy to bring back home, which, like I said, is very similar to Prey, but Prey is the human character that's trying to prove herself to the clan. Now it's Predator trying to prove himself to the clan. So even despite them being incredibly similar, I still found it very enjoyable. For this movie, you have her character. She's pretty much the comedic relief of the movie. And maybe there are some times where it's too much, but overall, I really enjoyed her character. It's something that's sort of different. A character like her, or I know her character has existed in these movies before, but a character of her personality really hasn't been present in these Predator movies. So it was kind of like a breath of fresh air. And there's another character that the two of them end up teaming up with as well, that this character also gets a plot twist of her own later on in the movie. So the plot twists kept coming, and they were actually really well done. And there keeps, like I said, the big monster he's going after, there's also the humans going after, who have bigger machines than the monsters. So the fights kept escalating when it comes to paralytic needles, to explosive slugs, to razor sharp grass, to all these different kinds of creatures. So everything kept escalating, and it was a very exciting finale. And the way it ended, you get some closure where he's going after his father in the end, but in the very last shot, you see the ship coming toward our surviving characters on the horizon, and she's asking him, saying, who is that? And he goes, it's my mother. So you assume there's going to be some awkward beef there after his brother's been killed, and now he's killed his father. Now his mother's showing up. So I would love a direct sequel to Badlands. I would absolutely watch a sequel with these same characters, continuing their story. So having seen, like I said, all of them except for Killer of Killers, I am extremely happy with this franchise. I'm so glad I've watched all of these. Yes, the fourth one was a little rough, but I'm so glad I ended up watching it just to say I've kind of seen them all. And as I know, there's been Alien versus Predator. I haven't done the research to know where that movie takes place canonically in the midst of all of the Predator and all the Alien movies. And Alien I've seen out of order. I've seen the first one, then I saw Romulus, and I've seen Prometheus a long time ago, and I don't know where Prometheus falls. I gotta do the research and see it all, probably in chronological order. But Alien is for sure my next franchise, just because I want to see that Alien versus Predator movie. And we have Alien Earth on Hulu, which I have not seen, but I really want to see that one. Alien Romulus, I assume, is not going to be the last Alien film we get. And with the success of Prey and Badlands, I don't think Predator is going to stop here either. So these franchises continuing on, I think they're really strong right now. So I'm excited where these franchises are going, especially with Predator, because I really, 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 really like Prey and Badlands. I think they're solid films. I think they're phenomenal entries to the franchise. So I will very much be seeing the next movie whenever it releases, whoever the cast or the characters turn out to be. So that is my review of the Predator franchise. Let me know what you think. Which ones are your favorites? I think the general consensus is a lot of people say the original, but I think Prey and Badlands are incredible films. If they're not better than the first one, I would say they're right up there with it, because there is so much action, fun, plot twists to be had in these two. So watching, thank you. Keep it digging, guys. I'll see you all next time.